Kate Middleton's Christmas presents centered on one theme due to her relatable habit. Kate Middleton, who is the Princess of Wales, has been tipped as a queen who really listens, but she reportedly has a habit to which many Brits can no doubt relate. All of the Princess of Wales' Christmas presents one year were related to her always losing her phone, it has emerged. Princess Kate's family began to notice her mislaying the device and so bought her various gadgets to keep it to hand. Her habit, relatable with so many Brits, reportedly became a running joke among the royal household. But Kate was, and still is now, and busy mother who then, in December 2019, kept tabs on George, 6, Charlotte, 4, and 20-month-old Louis. They've each grown and shown at royal functions, notably cheeky Louis, who stole the show during the flypast at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And fans are marveling at the prospect of Kate, now 43, becoming queen. She is tipped to become a monarch who really listens to the public, and experts believe the running joke of other losing her phone illustrates just how relatable Kate is. Giovanna Fletcher, the celebrity podcaster and author, interviewed the princess in the weeks after that Christmas. Speaking today, Giovanna, 40, said, "She told me that she was notoriously bad at keeping an eye on her phone. She always loses her phone. All of her Christmas presents that year were related to her keeping track of her phone. It was all about her not losing her phone." At the time, Kate had just started her campaign to support early years development. The mum had visited a nursery in Stockwell, South London, to chat to toddlers and other parents about her ideas, work which was widely praised. It led to her to appear on Giovanna's Happy Mum, Happy Baby podcast. Recalling this encounter, the host this week told The Times, "What I think surprised me was how nervous we both were at the top of the chat. I think there's no denying, when you talk to Catherine, you know what she means to the country, what influence she will have on life going forward, and can have with her early years campaigning. So I think I was nervous because of that. She was nervous because she knew that she was about to speak in a way that she'd never spoken before." William, the Prince of Wales, joined his wife to participate on the podcast, which Giovanna says helped ease nerves. Since then, Kate has continued to champion early years development, despite her cancer diagnosis in 2024. Praising the royals' grit, Giovanna, who won I Am a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2020, continued, "I think she'll be a queen who really listens, who leans in, who's very aware of what's going on. Like the king with the king's trust. I think the Prince and Princess of Wales are going into it with their eyes completely open. I don't feel like it's us v them. We have to work together as a society to make that change happen, and I think they get it. They understand things. And so, for that reason, I think it will be a welcome change." Inside Kate Middleton's secret pressure over George and mistake she wants to avoid, Princess Kate is feeling the pressure over her son, Prince George, future, insiders have claimed in a new report, and there is one particular mistake she is keen to avoid making. She might be the future queen, but making sure her kids are thriving is what Kate sees as her most important job. Both she and Prince William are known to prioritize their three children, Prince George, 12, Princess Charlotte, 10, and Prince Louis, 7, above everything else. With the couple reportedly always making the time to do the school runs themselves where possible, and spending the bulk of the school holidays with the royal youngsters. George, in particular, as heir to the throne, faces a lot of pressure on his young shoulders, with his destiny already laid out before him. And Kate is reported to be keen to ensure she makes the right choices for his future, which will help him on his way and set him up well. At the moment, all three of the Wales children attend Lambrook School, only a short drive away from their new home of Forest Lodge. The mansion has been dubbed their forever home by insiders, and they are said to be paying market rent for the property, which they moved into over the autumn. But at age 12, the second in line to the throne is poised to make a major change and move on to another school for the rest of his secondary education. The Times reports that William and Kate are carefully considering their options for George's next school, and that ensuring their eldest son's happiness is top of the agenda when it comes to making the final call. The couple's own former schools, Eton College and Marlborough College, are reported to be the frontrunners at the moment for where George will enroll next, but it has yet to be confirmed where the future king will officially attend. Whilst Eton, where both William and Harry went to school, is only for boys, and costs over £63,000 a year. Marlborough, which sets parents back £61,809 yearly for boarding, is co-educational, which could mean that all three of the siblings could go to the same school when the time comes for Charlotte and Louis to move on too. Motherhood is daunting enough, but the stakes are even higher when you're raising a king, the Times reports. This is why Kate is feeling the pressure to get it right. Behind closed doors, the report claims, the future Queen is determined to keep things as normal as possible for George, giving him a high-quality childhood, and ensuring that he pulls his weight in the family too. It's why the school runs and sporting fixtures are important. Aussie's time with grandparents Carol and Michael Middleton. George is outsourced to helping on errands, with one Windsor local recalling how they once bumped into a young Prince George at a soft furnishings shop where he was happily eating orange segments while Granny Carol picked up fabric samples. Kate's life's work in early years development feeds into this, with her dedication to the topic giving her insight into just how powerful connection and healthy childhoods are when it comes to creating thriving adults and a well-rounded society overall. She is particularly concerned that her son doesn't feel too much loneliness, given his unique destiny, something that King Charles admitted when he was 21 years old was a condition that could plague the heir to the throne. Out of certain necessity. I've perhaps been more lonely, Charles said in an interview when he was young. I haven't made a lot of friends. I haven't been to a lot of parties. Essentially, it is, I suppose, compared with other people's lives, more lonely. By providing George and his siblings with a much more grounded upbringing, this is a toxic condition that Kate is said to be desperate to avoid. Inside Kate Middleton's new spiritual perspective amid ongoing Prince Harry feud, insiders have opened up about how Princess Kate really feels these days about her brother-in-law, Prince Harry. With relations having been strained for quite some time, a lot has changed since the days Prince William and Princess Kate were inseparable from Prince Harry. It's been nearly 6 years since Harry and Meghan made the shock announcement that they would be quitting life in the UK and moving abroad to build a life outside the royal fold. It is widely known that in the intervening years, relations have somewhat broken down between Harry and some of the House of Windsor. He admitted last year that his father, King Charles, did not speak to him over his long-running legal action against the Home Office, which saw the Duke try and get his automatic police security reinstated. Things might have thawed somewhat between the monarch and his youngest son since then, with the pair reuniting when Harry visited the UK later in the year, but with his once close brother William and sister-in-law Kate, things are understood to be pretty frosty still. Harry's popularity in the UK might have dipped since he moved to California, but Kate and William's approval ratings with the British public remain strong, with the future king and queen the most popular members of the royal family. But behind closed doors, the couple has been through major challenges. At the center of these difficult times in their family was Kate's health difficulties, which saw the future queen step back from public life as she underwent chemotherapy. For both the Princess of Wales and her husband, this has majorly impacted their perception of the strained relations with Harry, insiders have revealed in a new report. Sources speaking to The Times claimed that Kate's priorities have radically changed since her cancer journey, and that her perspective has become far more spiritual and that she believes life's too short to get stressed out about the Sussexes. Prince Harry is not in contact with William, the report claimed. After repeatedly taking aim at his brother and sister-in-law, it's hardly surprising that William and Kate would rather focus on raising their own family. There was a sense of weary inevitability in William's camp when Harry decided to announce a trip to Canada for Remembrance Tide, at the start of his brother's official visit to Brazil. If Kate has learnt anything from her cancer ordeal and the teachings of Robert Waldinger, however, she'll know that life's far too short to get hung up on Harry. Robert Waldinger was a co-author on a report recently published by Kate on early years development, and as something of a spiritual guru, his teachings are reported to have had a big impact on the future queen. Waldinger's focus is said to be on the importance of loving each other, and it's a message that the princess appears to have taken to heart according to insiders. For his part, Harry has alleged in his memoir Spare that relations with his brother and sister-in-law began breaking down before he left the UK, and lobbed several bombshells at his family members publicly. He claimed that tension was brewing between him, Meghan, William and Kate, even before the couple's 2018 wedding. However, he spoke highly of Kate in many ways, writing that he found her to be carefree, sweet, kind and dubbing her the sister I never had always wanted. But infamously, a misguided comment from Meghan about baby brain to Kate left the future queen deeply offended. Harry wrote that Kate didn't believe she was close enough with Meghan for his wife to make that kind of comment about her hormones, and relations began to sour. He also said he believed Kate to be on edge at the prospect of having to compete with Meghan. I spoke to Kate Middleton for 90 minutes and realized change is coming. Giovanna Fletcher, who interviewed Kate Middleton in early 2020, has spoken about what they think the future holds for the monarchy with Prince William at the helm. A renowned podcaster and actress has given their opinion on what Kate Middleton will be like as queen. Giovanna Fletcher, who is also an author, has said she thinks Kate and Prince William will be a welcome change once they become king and queen. Giovanna, 40, interviewed Kate, 43, in 2020 on the former's Happy Mum, Happy Baby podcast about the realities of being mother. Speaking 5 years on about what Kate is like as a person once you get to know her, Giovanna was full of praise for the future queen and said she felt neither she nor William were naive about what was to come. Giovanna told The Times, "She's full of heart. I think she'll be a queen who really listens, who lends in, who's very aware of what's going on. Like the king with the king's trust. I think the Prince and Princess of Wales are going into it with their eyes completely open. It don't feel like it's us v them. We have to work together as a society to make that change happen, and I think they get it. They understand things, and so, for that reason, I think it will be a welcome change. This isn't the first time Kate and William's future at the head of the monarchy has been discussed, with William previously admitting he plans to bring change to the firm." Speaking with Canadian actor Eugene Levy on the actor's The Reluctant Traveler Apple program, William talked openly about his future as king. He said, "I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda. Change for good, and I embrace that. I enjoy that change. I don't fear it, that's the bit that excites me, the idea of being able to bring some change. Not overly radical, but changes that I think need to happen." William added that as has moved forward in his life he has been getting better at questioning things and whether they are fit for purpose in the modern world. He added, "There are points when you look at tradition and go, is that still fit for purpose today? Is that still the right thing to do? Are we still doing and having the most impact we could be having? So I like to question things, is what I am really getting at. I hope we don't go back to some of the practices in the past that Harry and I grew up in. And I'll do everything I can to make sure we don't regress in that situation." First glimpse of King Charles's poignant documentary released. The King's lifelong battle to bring harmony to Mother Nature and humanity will be documented in a new film, expected to be released in February, with the palace sharing a first look at the upcoming project. The King's Foundation and Prime Video will today release the trailer for King Charles' upcoming documentary Finding Harmony, A King's Vision. The film, which will premiere on February 6, will show viewers the King's harmony, philosophy and practice through the work of the King's Foundation, His Majesty's Nature and Sustainability charity, documenting Charles's lifelong work of creating a harmonious world between Mother Nature and humanity. The King says it is his fondest hope that the documentary will encourage a new audience to embrace his environmental philosophy, warning that it has never been more important for the world to focus its efforts in protecting the planet. The trailer includes a first look at new filming undertaken by His Majesty at the King's Foundation headquarters, Dumfries House, in Ayrshire, Scotland, and at Highgrove Gardens in Gloucestershire. These sites, which are both accessible to the public, are where the King's Foundation's education programs in outdoor skills and traditional crafts, all rooted in the King's harmony philosophy, are put into practice. Filming for the documentary began in early 2025 at Dumfries House, and throughout the year has taken place in over 4 continents, highlighting Harmony projects across the globe. The landmark film has been produced by Passion Planet and will be narrated by King's Foundation ambassador and Academy Award-winning actor, Kate Winslet. Oscar-winning actress Winslet expressed her excitement about the project, stating, "It is both a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of this film, which is a fascinating insight into the King's work as an environmentalist." She added, "I share His Majesty's passion for protecting our planet and building sustainable communities, so it's been really rewarding to work with the King's Foundation on this exciting project. I know audiences will learn, laugh and feel inspired by what's featured in the film, and I hope the impact of Harmony will be felt in years to come." The documentary was announced in October, with Charles sharing a statement to mark the announcement, as the King said that he had spent most of life encouraging people to work with, rather than against, nature. Nature eyesore sustainer. We are a part of nature. Therefore, what we do to her, we do to ourselves, he said. For much of my life I have sought to promote and encourage ways we can work with, rather than against nature. In other words, to restore balance to our planet which is under such stress. This film will, I hope, demonstrate just some of the remarkable work being done around the world to put harmony into practice, from the forests of Guyana to sustainable communities in India, and, closer to home, through the work of King's Foundation at Dumfries House and Highgrove. Never has it been more important for the world to make a concerted effort to protect and prioritize our planet, and to restore our relationship with it. The documentary's director Nicholas Brown said the story was one of hope and resilience, saying, "Remarkably few people around the world know the full depth of the King's lifelong battle to bring nature and humanity into harmony." Exclusive. Prince Harry issued stark warning as he faces make-or-break year amid bitter feud. Prince Harry has endured a rollercoaster 2025 that has included a successful Invictus Games, a reunion with the King and a charity spat, and it seems 2026 could prove a turning point. It has been a rocky 2025 for Prince Harry, but it seems he could be ending the year on a bright note. The Duke of Sussex has endured something of a rollercoaster 12 months, with highs including a successful Invictus Games in Canada and a seemingly positive trip to the UK in September, which culminated in a long-awaited reunion with his estranged father, the King. However, there have also been brutal blows from the ugly boardroom's Pat, which saw him quit as patron of his Centebail charity and lose his case at the Court of Appeal to have his automatic police protection when in the UK reinstated. After his defeat was revealed, Harry gave an interview to the BBC admitting the issue had created a wedge between him and the King, with him claiming his father refused to talk to him about it and called the decision a good old-fashioned stitch-up. But in recent weeks, reports have suggested that his security arrangements while in the UK are being reviewed. The Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, REVEC, has now instructed its Risk Management Board to reassess his threat level, with a decision expected next month. And for royal expert Jenny Bond, it could be a crucial turning point for Harry if he gets the outcome he wants. The former BBC royal correspondent told The Mirror, 2026 could turn out to be a very good year for Harry. If his security review goes in his favor, he will feel that an obstacle to visiting the UK more often, and possibly bringing his children here, has been removed. It has also been a spanner in the works in his relationship with his father. I think it's only by coming over and seeing his dad in person from time to time that the rift between them could gradually be mended. Harry could help by making himself available to fit in with his father's very busy diary and by ensuring that absolutely nothing about any meeting is given to the media. He could also write to his father, perhaps indeed he does so already. King Charles is a great letter writer and enjoys considered communication in this way. An apology to his father and his stepmother would also help. Again, perhaps he has already done so, although I rather doubt it. And although there could be a glimmer of hope for a reconciliation between Harry and his father, the same can't be said for Harry and William. The pair are not believed to have talked since the death of the late Queen, and on the 3rd anniversary of her death in September, were just 7 miles apart as Harry visited Windsor to visit their grandmother's grave. Jenny added, "As for reconciling with William, that's a much bigger ask. A parent can forgive a child far more readily than siblings tend to reconcile. Harry has said he wants his father and his brother back in his life, but I'm not at all sure that William feels the same about Harry. So I think the younger prince will have to wait some time yet for the ice to thaw, and the truth is that it may never do so. Looking ahead to the next 12 months, Harry will no doubt continue with this charity work, while he and Meghan also have a new project with Netflix. It has been revealed that their Archewell Productions are producing an upcoming adaptation of the book The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. But Jenny explained, "We've seen this year that Harry is still very popular when he carries out his charity work. He's incredibly good at it. I suspect he's more comfortable working in the charity field than in film production, about which he knows very little. So my advice to him would be to play to his strengths, continue using his platform to highlight issues that matter to him and keep lending his name and fame to the charities he wants to help." Exclusive. Harry and Meghan's confused brand led to troubled relationship with key aides. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have said farewell to two important members of staff within days, leading many to believe that their professional relationship with aides could be strained due to the confusing nature of the job. Just days after Christmas, Prince Harry and Meghan announced that two of their key aides would be leaving the Sussex camp, resulting in their 11th publicist within 5 years flying the co-op. Chief Communications Officer Meredith Maines and James Holt, who served as head of their organization, Archewell, both shared that they would be pursuing other opportunities within just days of each other, leaving many wondering why Harry and Meghan appear to struggle to retain key staff. Holt had been the couple's PR boss from 2019 to 2021, before moving to work more closely with the Sussexes on their charitable and philanthropic endeavors when they quit their royal duties in 2020. Meanwhile, Maines quit her role after just 10 months working with Harry and Meghan. Since the announcements, rumors have once again started to swirl about Harry and Meghan, and what they are like as employers, with former BBC Royal correspondent Jenny Bond believing that something may be afoot within the Sussex camp. Jenny Bond told The Mirror, to paraphrase Oscar Wilde, "To lose one of your key members of staff may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness." You cannot help but wonder why two important members of Harry and Meghan's team have decided to quit in such quick succession. And why is their turnover of staff so incredibly high? Something definitely seems wrong. While the unfortunate timing of both resignations may seem like more than a coincidence, Jenny said that she believes the reasoning being James Holt's resignation, but there is more of a mystery surrounding Meredith Maines. It's perhaps understandable that James Holt, who has headed up the Archewell organization, is leaving, Jenny explained. He's been with them for more than 6 years, and that's a fair old stint in this type of work. I'm inclined to believe his statement that he wants to spend more time with his family in London. There's more of a mystery surrounding Meredith Maines' resignation. She was brought in as something of a hotshot and has only been with the Sussexes for a year. I thought the couple's response to her resignation was decidedly cool and confirmed suspicions that their professional relationship had become rather troubled. There have long been rumors that former staff members of Harry and Meghan have required counseling after working for the Sussexes, with one former aide reportedly even omitting her work experience from her professional LinkedIn profile. Meghan and Harry have vehemently denied any allegations of bullying. Despite their denial, Jenny has questioned why the Sussexes are unable to retain key staff, asking, "Why can't Harry and Meghan command lasting loyalty from their staff?" There are, of course, all sorts of rumors that Meghan is incredibly demanding and difficult to work for. I don't know if this is true, but the high turnover is, to say the very least, rather odd. According to Jenny, the shock resignations may come down to one simple reason: Harry and Meghan's seemingly scattered brand and convoluted PT strategy. She said, "I do think that any publicist for Harry and Meghan is a complex job. Their brand, such as it is, seems confused. Are they philanthropists or celebrities or influencers or TV producers or royals craving privacy? Do they want to be on the front pages or do they want to be left alone? What exactly is a publicist employed to publicize? To this, Jenny even questioned why such key aides are needed in the first place. Perhaps it's not so surprising that staff come and go at such a rate. I'm not really sure why they need so many staff in the first place. Why can't they run their lives and their projects with just one or two helpers? With the future now uncertain for Harry and Meghan given the recent loss of staff, Jenny believes the next year the Sussexes could be unpredictable. As she said, "I really don't know what lies ahead for Harry and Meghan in 2026. But I hope that they will be happy and enjoy the life that they've chosen with their two lovely children in the Californian sunshine." Royals need to embrace Harry again for one key reason they can't do without. For some, Prince Harry is an asset that the royal family is still sorely missing after all this time. Even though the Duke of Sussex has fallen in popularity rankings inside the UK, the royal family might be missing a trick by not bringing Harry back into the fold, some argue. When Prince Harry appeared on late-night TV in the US, he was met with mixed reviews. Some royal experts weren't too impressed, with one even dubbing it insensitive for the Duke to have taken part in the comedy show, whilst major events were taking place for the House of Windsor. However, some commentators felt that Harry's easy charm during his time on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and the enthusiastic way he was greeted by the audience, made it all too clear that the royal family has lost one of its major assets. Before stepping back as a working royal nearly 6 years ago, Harry regularly scored highly in the approval ratings with the British public. But these days the polls tell something of a different story. Harry is currently lingering around 34% in the latest YouGov approval ratings, with his wife, Meghan, at 25%. For context, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor scores only a measly 13% approval, and Princess Kate, who tops the royal charts, has a score of 68%. But for one commentator, it's Harry's ability to connect with young people that has been the biggest loss to the British monarchy. On average, the age of working royals is now in the late 60s, and polls indicate that the firm is struggling to connect with the younger swaths of the British public. According to the National Centre for Social Research, more than half of Brits want to keep the monarchy in place, 58%, but generationally there is an ever-increasing divide on this topic, with younger people favoring the idea of having an elected head of state over a king or queen. Of those aged between 16 and 34 years old, just under 60% of Brits would prefer to scrap the monarchy altogether. Compared to the 76% of those aged over 55 who strongly support continuing the monarchy, it paints a stark picture for the firm. For many, it raises the question of how the Windsors will broaden their appeal amongst the younger generations and shore up the institution's future. For columnist Simon Kellner, writing for the I-Paper, bringing Harry back into the fold would do a great deal to help the royal family out in this regard. If those who seek to shape the royal family's image and commercial appeal, and who talk about brand Windsor and the firm, want to succeed in a multimedia landscape, they would do well to put their arms around Harry again. Like all the world's great brands, the Windsors need to extend their relevance across all demographics, particularly a younger one. Harry can do that by speaking to an audience that is deaf to the stentorian tones of speeches at Windsor Castle. He can speak the language of TikTok as confidently as King Charles can speak German. I guarantee there will be those in power who recognize this, and will be keenly anticipating the day when Prince Harry is welcomed back into the fold. Not everyone agrees, however. Tom Sykes, editor of the Royalist newsletter on Substack, wrote about the appearance, which saw Harry take aim at US President Trump. "I think the royal family has no real choice. Harry believes he's free to speak his mind now that he's no longer a working royal. I think if he were truly living as Harry Wales, a private citizen, that argument would hold water. But he isn't Harry Wales. He's Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. And in the American imagination, he still carries the full aura of a prince, a representative of the monarchy. A global audience does not grasp that Harry isn't still a part of the Windsor family business. Charles and William may be hundreds of miles away in Balmoral or Windsor, but in the American mind, they are standing just off stage as Harry delivers his punchlines.